Alright guys, this is a 2017 Harley Davidson Street Rod, known as the XG750A. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's take this bad boy for a spin. See where we go. Actually, I gotta go to work, so let's do that. It's a really fun motorcycle. I really enjoy it. You know, for my stature, it's really comfortable. 5'8", 5'9" with shoes, but 5'8", 30-inch inseam, and it fits me perfect. You know, a little awkward first time I got on it because I wasn't used to having my feet kind of underneath me, I guess, coming from mostly cruisers. And, you know, this is a different setup. I actually felt kind of cramped the very first time I got on it when I wasn't moving, just at the dealership, just to sit on it. Heck, I feel like my legs were cramping up in a couple seconds. But, you know, I took it for a test ride and got comfortable immediately. As soon as it started moving, I adjusted my body somehow. I don't know what I did, but extremely comfortable. My last motorcycle was a Kawasaki Vulcan S. That was very comfortable for around town, but the stock seat on that, on the long ride, started hurting my butt. So this on a long ride doesn't really hurt my butt. The downside to this is because it's taller than the Vulcan S, so it's not your typical cruiser. It's kind of tall, kind of sporty. So when you're trying to back it up into a parking spot, for me, because I'm not that tall, you know, 5'8", I'm on my tippy toes, and for whatever reason, I can sometimes get cramped up just from walking it back when I'm kind of trying to stand on top of the motorcycle. So that's annoying, but you know, it is what it is, and that would probably be the case with any, you know, sporty type of motorcycle, just because of my stature, lack of height. So, you know, it is what it is. But because of its height and its ground clearance, it's, you know, you get a lot of lean angle on this thing. Pretty fun. The engine is more peppy than the Vulcan S is. It's less smooth, which is good or bad depending on what your preference is. Sounds alright. I would personally prefer smooth over whatever this is considered a little semi, you know, potato, thump, whatever you want to call it. Because it's kind of like the in-between. They made it sporty. They tried giving it more power, not really focus on the sound, more focus on performance. But still trying to keep that Harley, you know, tradition with the V engine, so V twin. But yeah, it's good. It's peppy. It's fun. I'm averaging, you know, about 45 miles per gallon here in the City of Angels. I like this motorcycle a lot. You know, it's got its downsides where if you're kind of stuck in traffic and you're like stopped at a red light, the engine heat is just too close to your legs, to your quads or your thighs, and you can feel that heat when you're not moving. But when you're moving, the air keeps you cool. It's, you know, it's good. You know, outside of that, one actual complaint that I definitely do have is that neutral is really difficult to find in this thing. You know, I have just over 1,000 miles, and it's gotten a little bit easier, but still very difficult to get to. In fact, I have more luck getting to it coming down from second to neutral than I do from first to neutral. From first to neutral, I have next to no chance of getting to it. I've gotten lucky a few times and got to neutral from first, but very rare. Usually I have to upshift to second and then try to get it to neutral. As opposed to my Vulcan S, when the Kawasaki I had, neutral was extremely easy to find. It was never an issue whatsoever. I did have an issue with the Vulcan S when I first bought it when it was brand new, just like I did with previous motorcycles that I had. It was a Honda Shadow Phantom and a Honda Rebel, and both of those motorcycles, when they were brand new, I had difficulties as far as downshifting. The pedals would kind of, the clutch pedal would kind of, or the shifting pedal would stick a little bit. But after the first few hundred miles, that problem went away on all those motorcycles. And so it's a different issue. On this one, I didn't encounter that issue, but I am encountering the issue where, you know, getting to neutral can be a little difficult, which is a pain in the rear. But still fun motorcycle. You know, definitely very peppy, very, very peppy. You know, more than enough power for around town. My longest ride for this is when I bought it up in Simi Valley, and I live in East LA, so it was roughly, I don't know, close to 100 miles, and it's comfortable. You know, it's not bad. The downside to being in the city, and you're trying to, I know they made this bike to try to be a city bike, but it's not that great for a city bike because of these wide mirrors. These wide mirrors kind of prevent you from lane splitting, depending on, you know, the situation and the space available to you. But in a lot of situations, these few inches on each side, they add up. I don't know, maybe 5 inches in total, and they prevent you from lane splitting in certain scenarios, which is a pain. But you know, they look nice and they work very well. You could definitely see behind you very, very clearly. So it's nice to have that. You know, it's unfortunate that they make your bike wider, but you know, style over substance, I guess. I don't know, but great motorcycle otherwise. Can't think of any other complaints about it. It's really fun. It's easy to ride, at least for me. I don't recommend this for a newbie. Maybe the other streets, but that's probably only because of the seating stature. It's more of a sporty bike, and I don't recommend sport bikes for beginners. Just because of the lack of comfort, I guess. And when you're not comfortable, I really don't think that that helps you when you're not familiar with the controls on a motorcycle. So I think comfort's very, very important. So now let's see if we can squeeze through here a little. Yes, we can. Alright. Just take it nice and slow in the city of angels, baby. So, really nice motorcycle. No complaints. Not loud. My wife would love for me to have a louder exhaust. She says it's safer, but I don't like loud exhaust. It's really annoying for me. When I ride it, I don't know if I consider it long rides, but ride enough where the noise just kind of annoys me. You know, I just kind of want to relax. To me, the motorcycle riding is just very relaxing, with the occasional, you know, thrill of excitement, but it's more relaxing than anything. It keeps me out of being stuck in traffic, so it's fun. Yeah, very, very enjoyable. Thank you, buddy, for giving me that extra few feet. I appreciate it. Yeah. I gotta change freeways here. Let's see, cut everybody up in the front. No issue. Alright. Yeah, it's nothing like being on a motorcycle in the city of angels, man. Any big city is great. You get to avoid a whole lot of this traffic. You know, I have nice cars and whatnot, and blast to drive when there's no traffic. But in traffic, there's no point of having a nice, fun ride. It's outside of just looking cool. Status symbol, great. But actual enjoyment, stop and go traffic, just a huge parking lot, next to no enjoyment. And a motorcycle, you know, just filtering traffic like this, it's relaxing. Beats being stressed out, just getting stuck behind a whole bunch of cars. And a lot of people are very courteous here, you know, and just move out of the way. It's great. It's nice, man. You know, you'll encounter some people that don't move out of the way, but that's alright. You know, I've had a few people actually try to get in your way because they don't like you lane splitting. They actually get angry, I guess, you know, road rage. They're frustrated because they're stuck in traffic and they don't want anybody else to, you know, to pass them. Feel like they're cheating the system, but you know, I get it. I kind of get it. It's not very nice of them, but it is what it is, man. You're always gonna encounter people that are, you know, just kind of hateful or resentful, or, you know, it's just the way the way the world is, man. Just the way the world is. Just look at our political system. There's all kinds of drama. You got the right hating the left, talking smack, and then you got the left hating the right, just talking more smack, and just, it's pretty sad. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyways. But, back to the motorcycle. Harley Street Rod, great, man, great motorcycle. You know, not perfect. You know, I've never encountered a perfect motorcycle, but a great motorcycle. I will let you go to the left, and I'll go to the left myself. Thank you, sir. Alright. I'll let that truck behind me go, and let that other car go. Then I'll go. Thank you, sir. So, fun motorcycle. You know, I'm roughly around 60 miles per hour, 6 gear, and my RPMs, I don't know if you can see them, but 3,900 RPM, 6 gear, just over 60 miles per hour. Yeah. And, you know, most of the power on this motorcycle is closer to like 7,000 RPM. Around 5,000, you start kind of feeling the pickup. Below that or beneath that, it's not all that powerful. So if you're used to a cruiser, typical cruiser V-twin that has, you know, more of the grunt down low, a lot of torque down low, this is not it. This is more of a sportier kind of engine. It's kind of like in between, where it has, you know, plenty of power, not excessive. I think it's rated at 70 horsepower, you know, at the crank. Not too sure, but I think that's what I read, which is pretty decent for. This is a 500-pound motorcycle. I think it's like 515 or so. I might be wrong, might be off by a couple pounds, but roughly, and that's not too heavy. That's definitely light for a Harley Davidson. But I mean, my Kawasaki Vulcan S, that was 498 pounds. So that one was a little bit lighter, although it really didn't feel lighter. Like, it's just the way the motorcycle kind of stood or whatnot. This feels lighter just because it's, however they, you know, set up the weight balance to it. Maybe it's because it's taller, I'm not sure, but it feels lighter than the Vulcan S, even though it's not. I'm sure if this was actually lighter, it'd be much better. You know, people compare this to the, what is it, the FZ07, I believe, and you know, as far as acceleration, that will definitely outperform this because it's a much lighter motorcycle. I mean, it's a big difference. I think it's 100 and something pounds lighter, which is the equivalent of having a female passenger, you know, on your motorcycle. And if you have an extra female passenger on your FZ07, it'll feel like this, and it's gonna be much slower. Obviously, it'll compete to this. But yeah, different motorcycle. You know, this looks much better than the FZ07 to me. FZ07 obviously will outperform this just because it's lighter. You know, they have more experience trying to build sporty rides. You know, but looks, Harley did a great job on looks on this motorcycle. At least to me, I really love the way it looks. It looks spectacular. You know. I actually wanted the gray model I don't know what it's called, denim gray or whatnot, and to me that one looked beautiful. But the one that they had at the dealership had a kind of a scratch or an imperfection from the weld, and I was like, nah, just give me the black one. And I like black. It's nice, it's shiny, it's cool. So yeah. It's the problem with big cruisers. You can't really split lanes too much. Too big of a motorcycle. This is kind of the in-between. Smaller, not that small. Not that big. But, it's nice. I like this motorcycle. I still haven't given anyone a ride on this thing, so I don't know what that feels like. In fact, I had in my Vulcanized, I had installed the back seat, the pegs. I did all that, and the helmet lock. And I used the helmet lock all the time, but I never used the passenger seat on that. My wife just always came up with excuses why not to get on. So on my previous motorcycle before that, I had the Honda Phantom, Shadow Phantom, and my wife got on that one. And she seemed to enjoy it. She's scared, terrified of motorcycles in general. Actually, she got bit by a bee. She had a open helmet, a 3/4 helmet. And for whatever reason, unfortunately, the very first time when we were dating, she got on it and that open helmet, and first time on a motorcycle, I forgot where we were going, to a restaurant or whatnot. And a bee lands on her face and bites her, or stings her. Obviously, the bee gave its life, was terrified, but my wife was freaked out, and that was her first experience. Well, the one good thing is that after that sting, she wasn't terrified of the motorcycle ride. She was more worried about the bee, or the sting. So that kind of got her to relax as far as the ride, but that sucks. That's very unfortunate. But, I wish she would ride along with me a little more. It's fine, but I get it. It's nice having her home safe. Because even though I feel safe, I know that there's always risk involved with riding. Heck, there's risk with stepping outside your house. So, as soon as you take a walk, you're in danger. You could get robbed, accidentally hit by a car, a bus, a train, whatever. You get killed so many different ways in this world. So, the safest place to be is at home. And then in that case, a car might run into your living room and take you out too, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, I ride. I don't feel unsafe. But I don't know what that noise was. I felt like something popped. Maybe I ran out the car. Maybe something on his tire fell out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a nice, relaxing Friday. I like lane splitting. I like going in between cars when there's two next to each other. I don't like sharing a lane with one car when there's an empty lane next to it, because they might, plan on changing lanes. Like this one right here, it makes me nervous when there's no car next to them. They're thinking that they might change lanes. But, look, Atlanta United fan, yeah! I don't like the Atlanta United, but I love soccer, football for the road wide fans, but I love MLS. I'm an LA Galaxy fan, and I really enjoy it, and I love the fact that other teams are getting popular, just more competition. It's great. I want that sport to grow in this country. It's exciting. The sport in the world, in my opinion. And I played basketball growing up, and that was fun, and I loved it, and I still do. But football, soccer, it's so competitive worldwide, and that adds to the drama, that adds to the excitement, and I enjoy that. Worldwide competition. I get to watch the Europeans play and South Americans play, and it's very, very exciting, man. So won't forget the Asians and, you know, the Australians, but it's exciting. The whole world plays more competitive than any other sport because of that. So it's awesome. But anyway, yeah, very, very fun motorcycle. Had a very nice, relaxing ride so far. Definitely has, you know, plenty of get up and go. Not really made for that, but it does have more than your typical cruising. Way more power than your average Harley. The downside, it has less torque, so for around town you don't really feel it as much. You have to kind of get on it, get on the engine, rev it up more. So it just depends what you prefer. You know, at the top end this has way more power than your average Harley. On the low end it has less. So you have to kind of ring it up more. So just a different characteristic, you know, for the engine compared to your typical Harley. You know, it is what it is. I actually prefer this. Most of the cars or vehicles I've had are on the sporty side, and I prefer that. More top end power, more when you want to perform, you know, give it more throttle, and you perform. And you don't, you just chill and go slow. And it's fine, chill. Less, you know, less RPM, less revving the engine, and just kind of more docile. And I like that. We'll see what happens with the whole electric powertrains coming out on motorcycles and cars and all that. It's like instant power delivery and all kinds of stuff, which is probably amazing, you know. So, speaking of which, see right there, a little Tesla, you know, little black one. So, yeah, the electric powertrains, you know, that's probably seems to be the future powertrains around the world. You know, that's great for, you know, saving renewable, you know, or just saving, I guess, our planet potentially. I don't know. You know, save gas, don't spend gas, and I don't know. Depending on where you guys are generating electricity in your part of the world, if you're on coal power plants or something, then that probably doesn't make sense. But if you're on, I don't know, wind power plant or maybe nuclear, or I don't know, then that would make sense. But they're definitely cleaner air vehicles, so. Electric, you know, batteries pollute in different ways. Not necessarily the air, but more of lithium waste. That's assuming they don't get recycled properly. I don't know. I'm not really all that informed, so I know very little. I love motorcycles, man. This is great. So much more relaxing than being in a car in the city. It's night and day. I love that in California you can lane split, because without that in this traffic, I don't think I would have a motorcycle. There'd be no point being stuck in traffic on a motorcycle, just dealing with the heat. No, there'd be no incentive whatsoever. That would put motorcycle companies out of the business. Oh, another thing, if you're on a typical Harley, they usually have the turn signals on for the left, on the left side and the right right signal on the right side. This one's more like the other type of motorcycles, where it's all on one control on the left side, which I prefer because it's just one finger does it all. You know, push to the left to signal left, push to the right to signal right, tap in the middle to cancel. It does with one thumb. I prefer that as opposed to having to use my right thumb as well. Just one finger controls it all. You know. But that's a preference thing. Really doesn't matter. I've heard people complain that they don't like that. They want the dual controls. I don't understand, but it's fine. I'd rather my right hand be just for throttle and brake. Don't need to add stuff to it. Don't do it, minivan. Wait your turn, buddy. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. There's a guy crossing the street. There's a truck coming. A few of them anyway. And my turn. Alright. Let's go. Get out the way. Oh look, I got neutral from first. There you go. That's a rare occurrence for this motorcycle. But I did it. And I feel like I did it by accident too. I very, very accidentally tapped first the pedal, the shift pedal up. That's great. It worked out. Let's try it again. Yeah, it worked again. Hopefully that's resolved. Well, I'll keep talking about it as I keep writing. Alright guys. Alright. Let's turn it on so fan will circulate a little bit. Give you a quick look. We got some other motorcycles here today. It's pretty great. Beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful motorcycle on a nice sunny day out here in California, baby. All right.